Hello and welcome to today's video. Now in today's video we'll take a look at the Sensex Expiry. This is in the past two videos I looked at stocks rather than the index, but today I'll be taking a look at the index expiring, which is the Sensex. Before that we'll take a look at the news which is affecting the Indian stock market, and when we come to that front, now on the global front there's only one main news, which is the Bank of England's decision on rates. Now, the Bank of England has decided to maintain the rate at 5.25% as expected, and the vote split was 7 to 2, which is also expected. Now, the Bank of England reiterated that policy will need to remain restrictive for sufficiently long, and the decision not to cut rates was finally balanced for some. Also, moreover, the governor, Mr. Bailey, reiterated that he's optimistic that things are moving in the direction for a rate cut, but according to me, why he did not go ahead and give a more optimistic outlook or more comments was due to the upcoming July 4th election for the United Kingdom. Now, usually the United Kingdom's interest rate decision does not play much of a role in the Indian market. However, as the news cycle locally is dry, it's not there really, and we have been in a box range from quite some time. So due to that, it will have some importance, unlike how it usually doesn't hold much weight. Now coming to local markets. Now, as I said, the local markets have been going sideways, and we can see from the Sensex, only the banknifty has had a bit of a spurt up via gap ups and all, but it's not. The Nifty and Sensex have largely stayed where they were, and they've been doing this from the election week, the Friday of the election week. From then we have basically stayed in the box range. Now, one question which I see often is why are we staying, why are we not falling, and also why the global markets not falling. It is all the markets are right now very positive. I believe now when we put in the Indian market perspective, the Indian market is not falling also because global markets are not falling, and global markets are not falling as people are overestimating that interest rate cuts are going to be faster than they expected. Then something like the American market is believing, it's in the false belief that earnings growth is going to be compounding at roughly 10% per quarter, but that is a lie. Why I say that is when we look at the data, we see that for the past 6 months earning growth has been flat. So these things, once they come back into reality, it will make the global markets like the Americans leave the lofty positions, lofty levels, and that will bring that down. Then another thing which is spurring the Indian indexes primarily, not that much the stocks. If you will notice, the indexes in India tend to move more than the stocks move. Sometimes the Nifty can be making a high and most of the Nifty stocks are nowhere performing that well. So that I believe now the huge positivity is due to the budget. As I said in I think the video of 2 days ago, there's a lot of rumors being put out for the budget that this rate tax cuts will be done, that tax cut will be done. And then there are also talks of tax hikes, let's say how it has come on F&O, which is a very bad move. It will affect the market in a very negative way. But that news which is coming also positive for the budget, the rumors, that is what is fueling this, not making a move. However, now I believe either in today's trading session on Friday or in basically Monday's trading session, we are going to have to make a move. This is as number one, we have reached the final week of expiry. We have reached the monthly expiry week. And number two, we have finished two basically key expiries after the elections. Hence, a good chunk of the money that was restricting the indexes from moving which was lying on each side of the option cells, that has been taken out, and only the money which is lying in monthly expiry is left. Now, I believe a bit of a shake will cause a move from here, and due to that, let's take a look at Sensex and what can happen in today's trading session expiry. Now, when we look at the Sensex index, to put a drawing tool on, Now the Sensex has been in a box, this box range from quite some time. This is as we had this drop during elections, then the next day, 1-2 days, we had this rise. So now after that we have just basically stayed in a range. Yes, every day you'll be seeing now a lot of people do trade stocks, but they don't trade the indexes. So they'll be seeing on news that, oh, Sensex has hit this high, Nifty has hit this high, but look at the highs which it is hitting. It's just hitting with a wick and coming back down. So how do I expect the Sensex to trade now? Now, if we pop on the trading levels, there are a lot now because of simply the range where we're sitting in. Now, the one positive what has kept the Sensex above is if you look at the trend catcher indicator, which I use, it has been staying above zero. It has made many attempts to go below, but each time it manages to come back and stay above zero. Now, the trend catcher is closed in a relatively positive place, but the volume buildup has not. Hence, what does that signify? Now, for the Sensex, what that signifies, yes, we may have one more push towards the top, and then we'll have formed the top completely for the index. So now, in terms of an option buyer and an option seller in Sensex, not talking about the other indexes, this is right now, I believe each index is trading individually. This is, as we can see, this week, banknifty has done very well, Nifty has done not so well. Nifty is flat, banknifty, the gap ups have taken it up, but the Nifty is still within the range of from what it has been in the elections. It has not really gone anywhere. So the banknifty, Nifty and Sensex are going to be trading in a large way on their own basis, not collectively how they usually do. There will be some overlap naturally, as there are some stocks listed, cross-listed across 3 indexes, but a good chunk of that, their moves will be independent. Now, tomorrow, if we open at this point or slightly positive, then the resistance level which I'm using which I even used in last Friday's video, 77,750, I had given that resistance in last week's video and we've still not been able to cross it. That's going to be the main hurdle. By chance, we cross 77,750, then we can have a bit of a bullish move towards 77,950, and that can break and take us to the main hurdle, which is 78,150 to 78,220. So now, as an option buyer, I will only consider going long if we break 77,750, and at that point the volume buildup has changed for the good. Let's say this volume buildup which is here, if you see the last let's say 3-4 candles, the volume buildup was more towards the bears rather than the bulls. Now, if you see either a bit of bullishness come in this volume buildup section at 77,750, then is when I believe we can have an up move to 77,950, and due to simple optimism at that point, maybe go to 78,150 and 78,220. However, on the upside, I'll be cautious. This is as I believe we are approaching a top. Now, when will the index fall? Now, if the index goes up here and then comes back down, that is nothing major. The only time I believe the index is going to have a good fall is if first we break 77,350. This is a very important support for the index. I believe if we break 77,350, then we may have a temporary stopover at 77,150, but the most likely target is going to be the range between 76,800 and 76,950. So, as an option buyer again, on the upside, and if the volume is supporting, then only I'll go long above 77,750. That's a very important hurdle, and you can check the Sensex video I made of last week expiry. I had shared the same level there, and we have still not broken that level. We are still, whatever has happened, we have tried to go above it, but we have not been able. As we can see, we tried with a gap up, we failed. We again tried to reach it, we have failed. So that's a very important level. It will need a lot of volume to go through that and take a pick to 77,950 and 78,150. On the downside, it's only a clean shot if it breaks 77,350, and that can take it until 76,950 easily. 77,150 can be a point at which you can put like when you put a trailing stop on your position, you can sort of put a stop at that point to make sure any bounce up does not take away your profits. But I believe 77,150 can be walked through to 76,950 to 76,800. On the other hand, if we break 76,800, then it will have broken a very major support, and it will actually have finally, I would say, sort of formed a top, and will be going down to 76,400 to 76,250. Now that is the reason I've put today more levels than I usually do in the expiry videos. This is, we are trading in very tight ranges. If you look at every day, the average number of points we are moving in a Nifty, banknifty or Sensex, it's lower than Nifty and Sensex, not banknifty, but Nifty and Sensex, it's lower than usual. If we remove all the gaps and everything, the range is smaller. So we are having to deal with more levels within a couple of points. So that's how I look at the Sensex trading tomorrow. And as I'm saying tomorrow, as I'm recording this at night, and any questions you may have, you can drop them in the comment section, or there's the WhatsApp number in the comment section too, and you can drop them there, and I will answer them once you send them on WhatsApp. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.